I'm here to review the 8th film in the Fast and Furious series, Fast and Furious 8, or in America it's known as The Fate of the Furious, which I honestly prefer the UK titles because they're more consistent. And funnily enough, what I've seen from YouTube videos, American YouTubers, when they talk about Fast and Furious, they prefer to call this one Fast and Furious 8 rather than The Fate of the Furious, because, I think, honestly, that's just a much better title, really. This film is directed by F. Gary Gray and stars Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris Bridges, Scott Eastwood, Nathalie, Emmanuel, Elsa Pataky, Kurt Russell, and Charlize Theron. So basically, this movie takes place when Dom and Letty are on their honeymoon in Cuba, and there's this Cuban song playing over the credits in that bit, and it is a good song apart from when they have Pitbull rapping on it. It's a good Cuban song, but then when they have Pitbull on it, is just so shit. I mean, Pitbull is just like the worst rapper in history. I mean, I swear to God. But so they're on their honeymoon in Cuba, and after this insane racing scene where Dom's car sets on fire, that was a great scene. He basically meets this hacker named Cipher, who basically blackmails him to leave the family, as Dom would call it, and basically work with it. Basically, she blackmailed him to, and all Dom's friends basically are trying to find out why he's doing this. And Luke Hobbs, there's a bit where Luke Hobbs goes to jail, and basically he meets Deckard Shaw, the villain from the last movie, and they start this big prison riot so the two of them can have a fight. And basically later on, Mr. Nobody, who's Kurt Russell, who was introduced in number 7, he basically makes them work together. And it's funny, Jason Statham's character, Deckard Shaw, he went from being the main, big bad villain in number 7 to, being on their side. I mean, it's just weird. I mean, that he's like this big villain in the last one, and then this one they're just like, he's not that bad. But I do think the banter between him and The Rock is just really funny as well. And basically it is, I won't spoil why Dom is working with the hacker Cipher, but I did find it a very interesting reason, and was very nice. The ending I thought was very touching, and as well. And some people might say, why make another one without Paul Walker? Well, as I said, like, originally, Brian O'Connor was the main character, but I think by about number 5 and onwards, I'd say it became more of an ensemble film. Brian O'Connor wasn't the one main character. Tons of them, were. I think that works. We have good acting in this from Vin Diesel and Charlize Theron as the hacker Cipher, and we have Scott Eastwood as Little Nobody, who's the younger person who works with Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell. And I love the name Little Nobody that they came up for him. Apparently that wasn't originally in the script, but then they just came up with it on set, and they liked it so much that they had to keep it in. And I like the bit Tej says to him, "Little nobody has clearly lost his little mind." Yeah, and there's a funny bit where they're on the most wanted list, the top 10 most wanted list. He said, "Except for Roman, you're number 11." that was quite funny. And yeah, I did think it had a very sweet ending as well. And because of what happened in like number 7, it was more sweet because of what happened in real life to Paul Walker. But this, I think it's very sweet because of what happened in the film, how they end it off. And I won't spoil it, but you really have to watch it for yourself, I think. So there's great action scenes, like the prison riot scene, and this scene on the cover with basically the submarine and like the cars, and in Russia. That was a really cool scene. And apparently, like, The Rock and Vin Diesel had a bit of a falling out because they never actually share scenes together. I mean, there's a bit where they look at each other when they're in the cars, but that's about it. And apparently that's why they're doing the new Hobbs and Shaw movie without them. I hope they do hope they do work out, because watching them on screen, you really do feel like they are family, as Dom always calls it. So I hope they get better. And I did recently a ranking of the Johnny English movies. When the new Hobbs and Shaw movie comes out, I'll do a ranking of the Fast and Furious films, even though obviously that won't be the last one. There's 2 more planned after Hobbs and Shaw. So yeah, it's a really, really good film, this. And yeah, bye.